Hey everybody, how are y'all tonight?
Hello.
Hi Brooks.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Kaylee.
Hello.
I hope everybody's doing good that's over in the chat. We're glad that y'all could join us tonight. Before we get started, I just have a couple announcements that I'd like to make before we get into everything. Uh, I would like to ask y'all to please keep Red Tick Hound in your thoughts and your prayers. Also, I want to give a shout out to the BDRP channel along with DAX Machina and Dark Waters. And please check out How to Hunt. They're all great channels. They have a lot of great videos on there. Um, they had a really good, let's see, DDoS, he had a great show last night. Really enjoyed it. We went over there and watched him for a little while. A lot of great laughs over there. We also want to give a big thanks to all the Patreon members that are over there. We appreciate all your support. You guys are awesome. Also, there is something that we're working on. Is going to be a Paranormal Wednesday. So whenever we get everything squared away and all that set up, then we'll let you guys know whenever that's going to start happening. I know a lot of people have been asking about Mike, but right now he's working on a couple of things that's requiring his full attention. But I know that he loves each and every one of you subscribers, and he'll be back just as soon as he can. It's going to be a great show whenever he does get to come back. I'm excited. And then I want to thank our awesome moderators, which is Brooks, Scott, and Randy. You guys do an awesome job. We love you guys. They keep our chat professional and inviting. So let's give them praise for all their hard work. So, what do you say we get this show started? We got Brooks here with us tonight. We're going to talk about some interesting things. So, I'm hoping to have a good live. How are you tonight, Brooks?
I'm doing good. I'm trying not to look at the chat.
Old habits, not used to being up in the screen. Hey, Herbert, glad to have you here.
Hello.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Randy. Hey, Tracy. Well, I guess we can get started. Are you ready? All right. uh, let's start with the bridge that we always go to. That's always been a pretty active place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when the old town was still present, the old bridges were used for like the horses to go over from like the little town that's now flooded. Uh, what? Oh,
Hello.
hey, little Squatchfoot, how are you doing? So it's a. I don't remember when the old town was actually flooded, but whenever before it did, a lot of the elders talked about these creatures down there. You know what they did, and then these are the same ones that would also come up to Grand's house. That was always pretty scary, and it still is scary now that we're older and we're out there down there looking for it or whatever. The sounds that they make or the eerie feeling that you get like you're being watched is creepy.
It's very creepy.
We've heard some, we heard some walking before. We've heard the knocking on our vehicle at the bridge, and then this last video that we just did on Halloween, Kaylee and I, that was a pretty eventful night.
That was a scary night.
I think Brooks, didn't you watched the video, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What'd you think about it?
What do y'all think was looking at y'all through at the bridge? Those eyes.
We didn't notice it whenever we were down there. We didn't notice the figure until we was editing the video, but the lights that people were mentioning in the comments, we could see those, but only through my rear view mirror in my car.
Yeah.
We couldn't see them with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was pretty strange. I mean, it kind of reminded me of whenever it was me, Mike, it was me and Mike. Whenever we went down at the new paranormal place that we call it, and those little rats, we could only see them.
Yeah.
Through the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's like paranormal would be my guess.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy for sure.
You watched it too, didn't you? Because you were sick that night.
Yeah, I watched it.
I
I didn't know about it until I watched it on the TV, and I was like, it just kept getting larger the more it went up.
Like the other night, whenever we were down there and we were searching around, just Kaylee and I, she heard it first.
Yeah.
Walking. And then I told her, I was like, yeah, I hear it. Well, the footsteps, they started to get closer and closer and closer. And then it wasn't until a little bit later that, you get that eerie feeling like we talk about. And that's what I told her, because it was freezing outside. It was like 26 degrees.
It was super cold outside.
And then I just got hot. So I was like, okay, yeah, it's time to go. It's time to get out of here. And then it started knocking on my vehicle before we even got inside.
I think there was more than one, because we heard it. It started running at us from the woods, and then it started knocking on our car.
Yeah. And then even as
yeah.
And then it seemed to knock in like 3, really.
3.
I mean, yeah. Which I know that's a sign of the paranormal world, and you know what they do for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's why they do that. They knock in 3s.
Right.
And then even after we was driving, because where we were like secluded by trees.
Mm-hmm.
And we still heard the knocking until we got like in the direct moonlight where it was more light. And then that's when we stopped hearing the sounds or the knocking on the car.
So that's when it got off the car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then whenever we got home, I was like, okay, I'm going to go look, because, everybody's always like wondering if there's handprints or anything. So I went out and looked, and there was nothing. There wasn't no marks on the car whatsoever.
So was it on the roof, or was it knocking on the side of the car or behind it?
At first, it sounded like it was like towards the bottom, like on the lower part of the doors on the opposite side. But then on top of the car, or as we were leaving, it sounded like it came from the top of the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And on mine, I have those big luggage racks.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we
something
never
to
heard
have.
it hit the top of the car.
Right.
Yeah, we never heard it hit or get off of it.
Right.
Oh no, that's crazy.
It was
It was a little eerie.
it was weird. I mean, because it was quick. It was
Yeah.
like as soon as we got there, it was like whatever it was knew that we were coming. Because I mean, it started walking as soon as we got out of the car. Oh,
Yeah.
and my car died twice.
Yeah, it did.
Right. Right.
It was both times whenever you were turning around.
Yep. Every time, whenever I pull in to face the car to face out, because it's just a one way in, one way out road. It was like it died every single time at both places that I went.
Since then, have you had any problems with it dying?
No, I haven't.
Uh, that's
Nope.
interesting.
And then I don't have any lights on. Like no dash lights are on or anything. And I drove it today. I drove it yesterday. No issues at all. I backed up and down this road out here because I was moving stuff. And
I mean, you didn't even have trouble going trick or treating on Halloween.
no, we didn't even, no, not even that day.
No, you didn't. Uh-uh. That's
Yeah, because
weird.
I was on live pretty
Yeah.
much the whole time with them on there. And no,
Nothing happened to her car until we went down there.
no, that was just, it was freaky. It was almost like it knew that I was coming and it didn't want me to leave.
Right.
Yeah, then when we went through the video, we seen that thing at my window.
Yeah, after
when
we
seen
went
the
back.
lights, and I didn't even see it
Yeah.
until I seen the photo.
That I thought was strange. We couldn't see it until we reviewed the video, but we could see the lights.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand that part. That's mind-boggling to me.
It was just crazy.
And you still don't have any idea what it could have been. I mean, a dog man or a Bigfoot or something else.
I don't think it was something.
I don't think it was something flesh and blood.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, if you look at the close-up of that picture, I have it. I'm going to actually show it on here so everybody can see it. To me, it resembled like what a lot of people like to call an alien or like maybe a skinwalker.
Right.
Because I mean it had to be somewhat tall to reflect in my mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
And to
So,
get up on your car.
yeah.
Because I just don't know how it would drop from a height and us not hear it.
Unless it, well, some people talk about them like climbing up in trees. So, what if it like climbed, because we were parked under a tree actually. So,
Yeah.
what if it scaled up that tree and then lightly landed down on the luggage racks on the car? I mean, because you wouldn't hear it hit the roof.
Right.
But how big would it
Just
have to be for it to be able to
slinked
do that?
up there is what it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was freaky. I don't think we've ever had something happen that fast.
Mm-mm. Like as soon as we were out of the car, we heard it.
Yeah.
Well,
And there
too,
was,
I think that you two were alone, you
Mhm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and knew you were females. Yeah.
Let me go ahead and throw up that picture while we're on this subject. I'll go ahead and throw it up that way people can see it. Let me pull that up real quick. This is it.
Yeah. That's creepy. And that's no way that's a
Yeah, and then
mirror.
there's the more close up. This is the picture that got me thinking like one of the little aliens or a skinwalker.
Right. Yeah,
This is
that
crazy how we
definitely
couldn't see
looks
it.
like.
Yeah,
Mm,
what do you think it was?
I don't know. I think there are alien creatures. Not that they're aliens, but I think it's all
Right.
demonic.
Right.
believe.
Right.
Yeah.
I, I think all these things are, it's like a big spider web, and you've got your Bigfoot, your dogman ghost, and I mean, the big right around the edges, but it all goes to the center of that web where it all comes from. That's my opinion.
Right. See what that is.
Mm.
Hey.
What me?
Huh?
What me?
Little Sasquatch.
What? How was she gonna come?
Mhm. Yeah, that was a. That was, I don't know. It was an uneasy night to begin
But
with.
the
I
thing
think.
was, like, you were practically looking my direction
Yeah.
the entire time. So if I wouldn't have seen it, you definitely would have seen it.
Yeah, and I didn't see it.
So, and then I think that was the part where I was on my phone to take a picture of your percentage because that question, you were
Yep.
saying that it was draining.
Yep.
And so I went to go take a picture, and
I forgot about that. My phone was draining battery.
because it was on 8%, and I took a picture to show the live.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, that's
So,
really weird.
so like with like the paranormal atmosphere type things, I know that the electricity and stuff can cause that. You know that they.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't mess with the batteries, electric, all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just. I mean, it didn't even like. You know how a car will like gurgle or stumble. Whenever it's gonna die. No, it didn't do
Uh-huh.
none of that. It just straight
It
died.
just died.
Just wouldn't
So I
stop.
don't. And then that night, whenever we got home, our dogs were uneasy. Like I have my two inside dogs. They were weird
Mm-hmm.
that night. Her little dog was weird.
Yeah, she just barked the entire night.
Mom, so she's got that big old white dog that's outside, and it was weird.
I definitely believe stuff like that can follow you home. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
What I know is I think it just didn't want anyone down there. And if you were down there, it was going to keep you down there.
it was trying to keep us down there for sure, but it wasn't happening.
God is on our side.
Mm-mm. No, after we prayed the Psalm 91, and then it was pretty much fine after that.
Yeah, it felt light.
Right. So that
So
tells you something there. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
you
I believe
pray,
it was paranormal
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
absolutely.
Like we couldn't see it unless it was through a screen, and we didn't hear it besides it banging on the car.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't like stuff like
I
that.
don't like
Not
paranormal
fun.
stuff. Is just
Yeah,
it's just not my cup of tea.
and that's really the last time that we really had the paranormal encounter was whenever we were at the new what we called the paranormal place. But we're not too far from that place, maybe 4 or 5 miles as a crow flies. But I mean,
Yeah.
if you took the highway, then you'd be a little bit further.
Right.
So maybe it's all like mixed up down there, like the paranormal, the cryptids.
Well, I'm sure there's more areas down there that are like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's no boundaries to them. I mean, they
Yeah.
No,
don't have
I'm sure
boundaries.
they travel all down there.
no, yeah, because that spot where we was, there's a video that I've talked about on here. That's where we heard that evil laugh, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it would send chills down your spine.
I hated that laugh.
Mm.
It's just something about that place just ain't right. We kind of
Yeah,
thought about,
definitely.
it makes you think, because why they flooded the town. Was it to try to kill off these creatures that were down there, or whatever it was?
That's a possibility.
I never thought of it like
I
that.
mean, they've been around for a long time, more than
Yeah.
people think.
Yeah,
And maybe some died, and maybe that's what.
could be. Well, because I know, like, whenever they flooded the old town, they couldn't, you know, get all the graves and move them to the new cemetery. So some of the graves were still there. And, it was a lot of old Native Americans, graves that were down there. So, it makes you think, could this be like a familiar spirit type town? Or if it's familiar to them and you're like in their territory or something like that.
Right. That's
I'm
crazy.
sure since there's an old cemetery down there.
I think there was actually more than one
Yeah.
cemetery that was down there, right, Mom?
Um,
When they're
I
like
think
two?
I think there was two.
Yeah, there was
So
like
there's
two
two.
down there, and not everybody got moved. So that's sad.
Yeah, that is. Well, people couldn't afford to move their families,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and evidently the town or the county or the state definitely didn't want to put up the expense to move them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it was mostly an Indian cemetery.
It was mostly an Indian cemetery.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't like that. There is, I don't know if I still have it, but at one of the locations a while back, like a couple years ago, I was just taking random pictures like I always do. And up in a tree there was like the perfect figure of an Indian. I
Hmm.
mean, like completely dressed in all their, gear that they wore. It was just, I
Right.
mean, you could make it out just perfectly. I was shocked whenever I got back home and I was going through them. It
Right.
just,
Yeah.
That would have freaked me
I
out.
I really believe in a lot of the Indian legends, and they've been here a long time, and I believe a lot of it.
hmm.
Yeah.
Any other history before the flood? Not that I know of. I just know that it was just like an old town. It was way before I was born, so I only know stories that like my mom has told me, but they just flooded it. And then they moved the houses they could, what, like 5 miles up the road, 5, 6 miles up the road.
Okay.
And all that just became floodplain. So I don't know a lot of the history about it, other than some of the houses that were left were destroyed, along with like the cemeteries. Everybody couldn't get moved. But other than that, I don't really know any more history to it than that.
Now,
I'll have to check with them about it.
now the purpose of them flooding the town was to make a reservoir, right, for to hold water for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
was floodplain. Yeah,
Right.
yep.
Yeah.
But now that you kind of think about it, maybe it was due to different reasons because of all those creatures that were down there.
Yeah.
To keep everybody south and floating down the Duval.
Could
Hmm.
be.
And then like the elders, like whenever Mike was younger and he used to hunt the stuff back when he was a kid too. They had always warned us, to stay out of there, especially in the dark time, um,
Hmm.
because they actually lived down there before it was flooded.
Right.
So I don't. It's weird. A lot of the places that are down there are eerie. I mean, you can still see when the water isn't so high if we haven't had a lot of rain. You can see like some of the old foundations, the old pump wells that they had out there, the old water wells, and you got to be careful because they're not marked or anything, so you're able to fall through them.
Right.
You really gotta watch where you step
Yeah.
down there.
Well, even, in a boat, I mean, if it gets low, if there's any structures left,
Hmm.
you have to
Yeah.
watch for those too.
Exactly.
I mean, we used to go down there whenever I was little with our dad, and he would go down there and try to find like the old medicine bottles or the ink bottles and stuff like that. So that was always interesting. There was always old pottery plates left down there, bowls.
Right. That's really neat. Yeah.
Oh man,
Oklahoma's a good state to go and look at these old things like that. My grandparents took me all over Oklahoma to the
yeah.
Yeah.
museums. They loved taking me to the cemeteries. And I remember we would look for the tombstones that had people's pictures on them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because that's back, people are doing it nowadays, but back then that was really something to have a picture of who it was in the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Little Swatchfoot. What was the town that was flooded? Or did I miss that already? Um. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll just throw that up. Uh. I don't. I wonder. Were there like any hauntings, Mom? Do you know about that old town? Was it like a haunted place?
Well, that, I didn't actually live there. They had moved to town when we moved there.
Yeah.
I don't know about anything down there.
Mom's not sure if it would have been like a haunted place or not because she didn't actually live in that part.
Right.
I don't think she was born yet.
Well, and you wonder. I mean, some of those people didn't want to leave. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
you wonder if some stayed and got flooded.
I'm sure that happened. Yeah.
I mean, they're going, "This is my home, and
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
not leaving." Yeah.
Yeah, because that still happens today. You see all these floods, and these, by the oceans or whatever.
They'll go down with their house.
Yeah, they're saying, I'm not leaving. I'm not evacuating if there's a fire. I'm like, I'd be the first one out of there.
I know. I know. Isn't that crazy?
They
Can't
stay down.
understand that.
Okay.
So you say,
See the one I just threw up?
right? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think it's strange. And then what about the story that I read?
That was
Yeah.
that story. What would you do in that situation?
I
The
don't
first
know.
time I seen it in the kitchen, I would already booked it.
Yeah, but he couldn't move. He says he was paralyzed.
And then
Did
he
you hear
blacked
that
out.
story that I read?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he said
Yeah.
he blacked out.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
believe that he really saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
believe it.
when you see something like that, your mind's going, that's not supposed to be real. You're having a battle in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you realize that everything you've been told is a lie. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it is. Everything's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know like what would be the point of that like pulsating, through his body, like tapping on the bottom of his foot,
I wonder if
Mm.
it's like a sign for them.
because he said he
Type,
felt it 3 times and then he regained consciousness again.
maybe a type of hypnosis.
Oh yeah, that's a possibility.
or sleep
Could be.
paralysis, not sleep.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you have to have
Could.
like a word in your head whenever you're going through that to snap you out of it.
Yeah. Could be a way that they know to make you go to sleep, and so they can do whatever.
Yeah.
Because who knows?
You
Maybe
know.
while
Yeah.
he blacked out, he might have had another one behind him whenever he's seen it in the kitchen.
Mhm.
That's very true.
That is true because he didn't see nothing and he just randomly blacked out. And there was 3 whenever he woke up. So
Well, yeah, he saw the
Right.
one that looked like it was trying to hide
yeah.
between the.
So maybe that one was trying to hide and the other one came up behind him, knocked him out. So the other one,
That's true.
because where was the other 2 whenever one was in the kitchen?
That's a good
Yeah.
point. I
Yeah.
know.
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, they can come in your house.
Yeah.
There's no boundaries for them. I mean, they go through the walls, and you can lock everything up, and that's not going to keep them out.
Makes you paranoid after hearing other people's encounters that it could happen to you at any time.
The only way to keep them out is if you pray over your house.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's true.
I do that every night.
Definitely. Yeah. Anoint the house with oil. Yeah, you can do that. Your doors, your windows. Yes. Say a prayer blessing over your house.
I do.
I've
I
done
know.
I've done that and done my vehicles as well. And then myself. I did the house, my vehicles, and myself.
That's
Just to
probably a good idea.
Yeah. And it doesn't God doesn't care what kind of oil it is. You can use any kind olive oil, cooking oil, baby oil, any kind of oil will serve the same purpose.
Yeah,
Yep. I'm protected
So,
with the blood of Jesus Christ. I wear his full armor every day.
that's right.
right.
I just,
It's just creepy to think about.
yeah.
Like if you don't do that, like if people don't know how to do that or realize that they didn't or something and then they just come into their
Yeah, like they don't know how to protect
Yeah.
themselves from it, because they were never taught.
Yeah.
Right.
They just live in that fear.
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't imagine that. And then like her story, it's out now, right?
Yeah, I think the
The
dark shadow.
Mhm.
I call that, after thinking about it, I would call that like the black mass
Mhm.
for the paranormal world. It's like basically it's a black, like, puffy cloud, and
Right.
behind it there are like multiple demons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they
Staying
come.
hid. Yeah.
Yeah, they come. They have like the female demons, and they call them like dillies or dollies or something like that. I don't really remember, but they're the ones that attack like what they call unclean pregnant ladies, or you know the unclean women that want to become pregnant, and then you have the other ones that want to take over possession, things
Right.
like that. And they got all these that's hiding behind this black shadow. And in that, she did mention that she had a miscarriage, and that's just terrible.
Yeah, her son's
Yeah,
life.
that's awful. There's a lot of stuff that happens to a lot of people. They're scared to talk
Yes.
about it. I think the majority of the people that listen to the
Yep.
ghost channels, cryptid channels, they've had some experience either one way or the other, and everybody wants to know what it is. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's why we're all here.
Right.
We
And
all
some of
want to
that,
know.
Yeah, we all want the answers.
and some of that stuff you can't explain.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So you can't put it into words.
Right.
No.
Got it.
Dog man,
Oh.
okay.
I missed it. There it goes. The Dogman UK. Hey, welcome in. Glad to have you here. How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, dog man.
You know, I've
And
had
Herbert.
figures faster than my mind tonight, he says. I've had, you know, like, yeah, different, you know, things happen. But some of them you just, like I said, you just can't explain. You can't explain how they got there, how they made you feel. But then others, you know, they make you feel powerless,
Yeah.
like sad and angry.
Right.
Because it answers yet.
Right. It's just
I know whenever I started, we had paranormal activity in our house. Um, this was, oh, 30 years ago.
mhm.
Um, and that's what set me off into trying to find out, I said, God, what is all this? I said, I want to know. Show me what it all is. And he did. I mean, he sent me to a lot of different. Of course, back then the web was just coming up. Um, but a good person I watched was L.A. Marzulli. A lot of good information from L.A. And he's been studying for years. And
Wow.
he does the paranormal, the giants. He does a wide spectrum.
Mhm.
It's really good.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to look
Yeah,
into that.
he's really good. But yeah, I had weird stuff happening at my house. It was awful. Well, like even when I was young, my mom died in '69.
Mhm.
We had a houseboat that we vacationed at. Now, when I say a houseboat, it's not this big fancy houseboat. It was basically a camper on pontoons, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we had it at Lake Conscious um, at Tucumcari in New Mexico. And we saw UFOs all the time at that lake, flying over
Wow.
the rim of the canyon of the lake. They'd follow us down the lake. It was crazy. So from a young age, I've had different things, throughout my life of weird stuff.
Mhm.
That'd creep me out to see a
Yeah.
UFO.
Did they have like a lot of flashing lights whenever you would see them?
No, they were actually saucers.
Hmm.
They were saucers, is what they
Wow.
were. They look like your typical flying saucer. Um, and there was other families from our town that had
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
fish, and we and I mean, there was one night that there was some other people in a small boat that were night fishing, and one of those UFOs came and buzzed them, scared my parents' friend to death, and he went into his houseboat and said, "I'm not coming back out."
I
And the
wouldn't
I
poor,
either.
wouldn't either.
yeah, the poor guys in the boat, boy, they started up the boat and they left.
I would have
You
left.
know,
Well, that's kind of.
so
Remember whenever we were fishing and we seen that green, yellow-eyed thing in the tree?
Yeah.
We
uh,
were
yeah,
fishing. I don't know if you've heard the story though, Brooks, but we were fishing one night and there was a tree and it was like forked.
hmm
And I think it was Kaylee and I. We had walked around the back of the truck to get a drink out of our cooler that we had. and we seen like this yellow reflection. So we got to looking at it, and in this tree were two yellow eyes.
Yeah, big eyes.
Yeah, they were
Mm.
huge eyes. And this face, it wasn't like a human face. It was kind of like weird shaped. But it was
Mm-hmm.
green.
Mm.
It was like a dark hunter's green.
Huh.
And it was just standing there. It had to be at least like 6 foot tall.
Do you think it was like a reptile thing?
See, and I wonder, it's just a thought, these things that, like you said, it's green and it was up in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do these things, are they like chameleons? Can they change color to blend in? That's, I've wondered that.
That's a good theory, really.
I mean,
have-
even the Bigfoot, they say they kind of disappear. Well, is there something in their hair that allows them to blend in? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's interesting. I would like to know.
I always call
Yeah.
A what?
it a canema.
A canema?
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee calls them canimas.
Huh.
It's like I watched this show, and it was of this like lizard reptile thing, and that's what it reminded me of. So that's just what I would call it.
Hmm.
And I would look up, if you want to know what I'm talking about, look up Teen Wolf lizard, and it should bring it up. But that's
Okay.
what I compare it to.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was weird looking.
Yeah.
And that night we had a lot of interesting sounds too. We heard the baby cry. We heard the cat noises.
Mm.
And then I believe that's the same. I want to say it was the same night that I seen the little girl.
That wasn't the same
Right.
night we heard the scream, right? Or was that another
The
night?
scream. I think that was a different night. I mean, there's
That's-
always activity down there.
No, it is not coming home with me.
Yeah, and it seems that they mimic people,
Yeah.
like the baby crying,
Hmm.
I guess to get your attention, trying to lure you out there. Come check on the baby. Yeah, somebody's left a baby out here. Come out here.
But it's funny that you said that because at the time when we seen all this, my youngest, he was probably 2.
Uh-huh.
And, he was little, doing the little baby talk and the baby little cries and stuff like that. So now that you said that, it makes me think, what if it was mimicking him? His sounds down there.
Right.
Wow.
That'd
Right.
be scary.
Yeah,
That gave me
that's scary.
Because they do baby sounds, they do women screaming,
Yeah.
they do laughing.
Hmm. There's a lot. I can remember a story. It was all of us actually. We were just out adventuring. And our mom, I think it was our mom, asked where our dad was. And they said, oh, he's back over there.
No, I wasn't born yet.
No, you wasn't born. And then somebody else said, no, he's over there behind Sarah and the girls. Well, come to find out, Dad came from the complete opposite direction. And something was following us that resembled our dad.
Ooh, sounds like a doppelganger.
A
Yeah.
doppelganger.
Uh-huh.
Mom said, what's a doppelganger?
A doppelganger is like you're sitting there, and maybe Kaylee would be in the bedroom, and you would see Kaylee walk out of the bedroom into the kitchen,
Okay.
and then you might even talk to her, and then in a minute later, here comes Kaylee out of the bedroom,
Yeah.
and that wasn't Kaylee you saw going into the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's not Caitlin that's ignoring
It's my doppelganger.
Mom said so now she knows that it's a doppelganger ignoring her, not us.
Yeah, so you can't blame it on me now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's happened to us a couple times, and they was like, "Oh, here comes Dad." Well, what was following the girls? We had no idea. We didn't even know that we were being followed.
Right. Ugh. Yeah, that's scary.
Oh, someone's gonna eat me, and here I am, just a kid.
Yeah.
Start running.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
probably 12.
And it's confusing to the kids too, going, wait, yeah,
Yeah,
how did that happen?
and I get, whenever we're out there fishing or whatever, I get paranoid because I'm like, okay, I know the kids want to go explore, mess with the trees or whatever, because I used to do that whenever we were fishing. And now
Mhm.
seeing all this stuff firsthand, I'm like, heck no, I don't want them going, out of sight at all.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
what if they mimic like one of our voices or something and lure them out there to it?
that's right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different creatures out there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, everybody sees the Bigfoot, the Dogman, um, skinwalkers, whatever. Uh, but there's more out there. I think there's more.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
definitely more. Even little people, you
Mm.
know.
The dog man. My mom has had things call her name, and I've also had him call my name before.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah. It happened here a couple times. They'd go from like window to window and call my name, but like at Granny's house, it would go to window and call Mom's name.
Right. That's
And like,
weird.
Or people would ask me if I called their name, and I'd be like,
yeah,
no.
that's what I'd come out here. I go, "What do you need, Mom?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You just hollered at me." She's
Hmm.
like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Well, I just answered whoever it was that was hollering at me, because I'm
Right.
in my room and I holler, 'What?' Coming." But
Right.
not her or anybody else hollering at me. So I just quit answering. I just started walking out. Be like, "Did you holler at me?"
Right. Because it sounded just like her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, see, I've had my kids when they were small. They'd be playing in their room and they'd come in, and I'd be watching TV and they'd say, "What?" And I'm going, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, you called me." And I said, "No,
Yeah.
I didn't." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yep. And
Yeah.
she goes, "I didn't holler at you." And I'm like, "Somebody did."
Hmm.
And that's actually my old room is the one that Kaylee was in that actually had the knocks on her window.
Mm.
So maybe you're getting some of my old friends.
I sure hope not. I don't want your old friends.
I
Yeah,
don't
dog.
know. It seems to me that they're interested, whatever it is, because y'all are females,
Mm-hmm.
and I I think too because y'all are all related to your mom, your
Right.
grandma, your mom. I I don't know because it
I know.
seems to bother you women more than the men, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I
So
guess.
right there, it's 3 generations.
Well, that's true. Mom,
Circle.
Yeah.
me, you.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Yeah. Mm. I don't like thinking about
Oh.
No.
that.
I mean,
Especially,
yeah, I try. I think outside the box. Why is that happening? And
yeah. I wish I knew why it was happening. I
I just
don't like
started
it.
praying.
There's something that knocks on my bedroom window and calls my name now. I'm too scared to look. Margie, I would advise you not to look.
Don't look.
Mm-mm. Um, if you can, pray over your
Yes,
property if it's
pray.
something paranormal. If it's something, like flesh and blood, really big lights over your window and turn them on whenever you hear it. That normally,
Scared them off.
yeah, scares them, back deeper into the woods or
Yeah.
further away from your house.
Because they don't like being seen. But
Right.
if it's not flesh and blood, pray about it.
I definitely, Margie, I would do the oil. I would say a prayer over the oil and then take the oil, and as you're placing it over your doors and windows, say prayers as you're doing that. See if that
Hmm.
doesn't deter it.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that it doesn't come in either, Margie.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Just pray.
Well, just pray and maybe try to put up some big lights for a little while.
Mm-hmm. I'm going blind tonight.
What is it? Going blind tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, don't go blind.
Don't go
um,
My hair is like.
let's see. What about when it comes to like animals? Do you think we should worry about our animals out here being like possessed by these things, or anybody else?
Mm.
Now that would creep me out.
Well, because I know
Yeah.
like some people will use like a pig or a possum or something whenever they're doing an exorcism to cast the demon into the animal, and they usually drown it or they kill it.
Mhm.
Well, I know about
But
his
I didn't.
dog.
Yeah, but I didn't know if like animals could just like become possessed by something.
Well,
I don't know.
his dog, for one.
Oh yeah, that's
The
true.
pigs and the dogs.
Yeah, that's scary to think about too.
Well, I know that animals are a good. They sense things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
They're good to have around if you are having paranormal activity. They'll alert you.
right.
Both cats and dogs do that.
I pray over my dog.
Mhm. I mean, as far as them being possessed, I guess that could be possible. I mean, Jesus threw the demons into the swine, into the pigs,
Yeah.
had them jump off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I pray over my dog.
Yeah.
Well, can I say I know pigs?
I think I wonder if it's like more susceptible to like people who don't believe like their animals rather than Christians' animals, if that makes sense.
That's a possibility. And it depends on what that person's doing. Are they messing with Ouija boards,
Mm-hmm.
tarot cards? Are they, messing with the occult?
Yeah.
Could be possible. I don't think anybody could discount that.
Right.
But
No, that's something I ain't gonna mess with is a Ouija board. I tell you that right
Mm-mm.
now. Them tarot cards, no way.
I would never touch any
No.
of
Mm-mm.
Nope.
that. Never
Nope.
have, never will.
I took a trip to was it Colorado? I don't remember, but I took a trip, and anyway, this lady, she was at the store. It was at our closest town. It's been like 6 or 7 years ago, and one of my friends used to like to go into these magic stores.
Mhm.
And there was a lady that was sitting in there, and she had like these tarot cards, and she goes, "Come over here, come over here." Well, I went over there, and she like started flipping these cards out in front of me, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Then she goes, "I'm gonna give you like your fate, your destiny." And whenever she did, she started flipping him over, and she's like, "Death," and I'm like, "Nope, no more of that for me."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just told I'm not listening to no more of that. I'm leaving. I never went back to that store again.
I do
No,
want
I wouldn't either.
No, it
No,
was
that
like all these cards came out with like guns and like guns and knives, and she's like, "You're gonna die either by a gun or a knife." And then she flipped it
ah,
over, and she was like, "Death." And I was like, "Okay, forget this. I'm gone, lady."
wow. Yeah, no. Nope. Nope, nope.
I would just rebuked it in Jesus' name.
Of course, since I think we're all know the thing that's
Yeah.
I did. I got it.
Please put it up.
Uh huh. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did.
I like watching the ghost, like ghost hunters and
Yeah.
I like watching all that, but you know, I'm I'm not opening myself up to it. I wouldn't do the spirit box. I wouldn't do the Ouija board. You don't want to do any of that kind of stuff.
No,
None of it.
no, not at all.
No. I would watch.
We used to watch Ghost Hunters.
We used to watch Ghost Hunters, and then me and my mom would watch Ghost Whisperer, but we would never open ourselves to
Mhm.
that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I just watch it basically to get like the information, because some of this stuff really happens in our world, and it's just I just want to know about it. So if it happens, I know
Exactly.
Yeah.
because like
Exactly.
there's one besides the Ghost Hunters. I can't remember what it's called, but it was about the animals.
Oh, a haunting or the haunted, the haunted,
No, oh man,
About the animal.
the haunted.
yeah, it was one. It was like people's houses or whatever, and they would be having all these issues. Um, they would her animals would be able to tell, and they would warn her. So I don't know. I can't remember what it was called, but it used to come on cable on Animal Planet. I'll have to go through and see if I can find it, and if I can, I'll send it to you because I know that you can still watch it on YouTube.
I think that one is the haunted. They had different stories about people and their animals.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
I
that
think
one too.
that's the haunted, and then there's a haunting, which
Yeah.
is yeah. It's two different series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Herbert, yes, I did. I was done listening to her read those cards.
I would have just rebuked it in Jesus' name and walked out.
Yeah, I walk into this store for like the first time, and she gonna tell me that I'm gonna die? No, thank you. That's a way to lose
yeah,
business.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of those shows that I like to watch just for like the information. But if it gets too crazy and like wacky or whatever, I turn it off.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah,
Yeah. When
yeah.
they
It,
start trying to call it out with like the Ouija boards and the ghost box or whatever, I'm done. That's
yeah.
it.
No.
There's a difference when you going in there and then something just happens than you actually going in there and
Right.
trying to talk to it and communicate and everything.
I don't want to do that.
No.
No. Because I personally, I don't think. I mean, the Bible clearly says if you think you're talking to your grandmother or your uncle or your mom or your dad, uh, the Bible clearly states to be when you die is to be present with the Lord.
Yep.
So I think that these things that they're talking to are familiar spirits.
I agree.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they know stuff. They know stuff about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's how they give them the information and get them sucked in because they do know.
Yeah.
Some of the people that I've talked to, they mentioned something that was along those lines. They said, if you have a loved one or like a close friend that had passed away, and you still like hear them or see them or whatever, they think that really they were being followed by a specific ghost or demon to learn, their routine. And after they had passed away, then this demon tries to get close with you and lash onto you and just keep going from generation to generation.
That's possible. especially if they weren't Christian people.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I would think that was possible.
They just did it, just to like get information, just to stay, with
Hmm.
those people.
Right.
And then
That's
a lot of
weird.
people say, if somebody, like if you have a loved one or whatever, they pass away, they automatically go to heaven.
Mhm.
So how could their spirit still be here on earth?
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's
Right.
kind of what we're getting at. How could they still be here? It's like the demon or the ghost that was trying to possess them, but they couldn't. So it just
Right.
mimicked them to try to attach to you.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's how they say if you hear something like that, you don't
Mm.
communicate with it back.
No. No. You don't. You
Silver
don't want to
Bullet.
talk to them.
No, I don't want to talk to them. I don't, and they tell you not to answer them either. If you see them and they're calling your name or something, don't ever answer them.
Right.
You
Right.
pass it in Jesus' name.
All right. Silver Bullet says, "What does Brooks think about the Long Island lady that can tell you about the people that have passed away?"
You can see your spirits.
I think the people, the mediums, like, yeah, the Long Island lady, uh, I've seen her, I mean, I've watched her show,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're talking to familiar spirits. Yeah, they're getting accurate information,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not bad information that she doesn't. There's a lot of them that don't relay the bad information, but
But is she supposed
I
to?
just don't think, in my opinion, that they're actually talking to those people.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of like a ghost or a
So
demon.
how does she know?
Right. I mean, I
So
don't know.
how do you think she would know?
By a familiar spirit,
Like
it's one
following
that,
them for so long?
well, yeah, or familiar spirits doesn't necessarily have to follow you. I mean, they do have supernatural powers or whatever
Mm-hmm.
that we don't understand. I mean, that's like God. He knows past, present, and future.
Yeah.
Right.
These things I think, have that ability as well. I mean, I know demons know that they're not going to win in the end. You know,
Right.
So is she
they're wreaking havoc on the earth right now, and in the end, they know they're not going to win. There's too many of them on these ghost hunters that they always ask for help. Help.
Mm-hmm.
I need help. Well, I think, my opinion, they know that they're stuck here on earth, and there's nothing anybody can do with God to get them to heaven. And they know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
So do
I
you think like she's of the devil, or should she be doing that sort of thing?
now I don't think she's of the devil. I think she sincerely believes what she's hearing. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, uh, I think she's a good person. I don't think she's malicious.
Right.
Um, I just think that who knows what's going to happen to them in the end.
Yeah. She's just like trying to
Because
bring comfort to those people.
I mean, yeah. I mean, all that's left of my family. I mean, I had my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and I had another sister and me. There was 6 of us. There's 2 of us left.
Mm-hmm.
And lost my mom in 69, lost my brother in 71, I think 71. My sister that died, she was in between me and my sister that it's left. And I mean, I would think that if there was any way possible that they'd be coming back and trying to talk to us, but they don't. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like your granny, she's not coming back and talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your spirit's deceiving you.
Yeah. It's like familiar spirits deceiving you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I wonder if they're
So,
connected.
I think some of it is all connected. Yeah.
No, I mean like all the demons. Like if they know everything like God does, I wonder if they're like all connected. So like if one sees something, all the rest see it.
Oh,
possible.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know. I just know that some of it, people talk about this and seeing it, and then if they do answer, one of these voices that they recognize, that bad things start happening in their homes.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
And
So
that's
that
when,
tells you, right there, it's not good.
right. And that's like what they say, I thought it was good. I thought it was this person, I thought, I was seeing them again, they were here trying to comfort me. But, once you invite them in, they're there and they're
Right.
hard to get rid of.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why, I think that like the mediums are, yeah, they're sincere, and yes, they do give accurate information. I mean, they, people are blown away by what they know,
Right.
but it's to suck people in. That gets them into the spiritualism and all of that. It gets them. They don't go to the Bible for anything. They're going to the spiritualists,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. They just need to know that
which
the devil's
is
only here to kill, steal, and destroy.
that's right. That's
Yep.
right.
I hate
So
that for some people.
yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
I just pray for more people to turn to the Lord and read the
Yeah.
Bible and really understand what they're doing is not right.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
showing you what they want you to see until they get what they want, and then all
That's
heck's gonna
right.
break loose
That's right.
because they
That's
go
ex-
after, they go after the sad, from just losing someone, or the weak, or
that's right.
and they just attack you at any point in time.
Yeah, they go after alcoholics. They go after drug addicts. They go after everybody,
And the thing
especially
is,
if you're weak.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not flesh against flesh, it's a spiritual attack. That's the thing.
That's right.
The only way to defeat them is through prayer and calling on the Lord.
That's right.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
I do. I stay with
Oh,
it.
me too.
Yep. I pray every night
Me
for
too.
the full armor of God and that I am protected in the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Amen. Yeah.
I just, because I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing like that.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to see nothing
Mm-mm.
like that ever. I mean,
No, it's not fun. And the thing about it is I think that these spirits, they know when you're a Christian, and they will show themselves to you. Some people have that gift. I think,
yeah,
some people do see them. They don't bother them, but they show themselves to you.
right.
Thank you,
And
sister.
then in your spirit, you're going, I know what you are, and I rebuke you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it's like, we have a seal of God on our forehead,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and they see that.
Yep.
I've had 2 different times I delivered auto parts for 11 years, and two different times, there was a car at a stop sign, and I was turning, and my window was down, and this guy's window was down. Don't know who he was, never seen him, and he looked at me and opened his mouth and let out a god awful scream at me, loud scream. That's happened to me twice,
Oh wow.
and it wasn't the same person. The other time was a woman that did that.
Oh
That's
my.
crazy.
And yeah, that's crazy because you're minding your own business and you're turning the corner and you just look and this person is got his mouth as wide open as he can and screaming, just ah at you. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
it's and I think I believe they show some of them will show themselves to you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Like a couple of my friends back whenever we all used to hang out, they would ask for it, to show itself to them. I never wanted to see it. I always
Mm-mm.
said no, no, I don't, want no part of that. But then they'd come to me and they'd be like, Sarah, I seen it. It showed itself to me, this thing, And I'm like, I don't even want to know. They'd tell me I asked it its name. I was like, don't even tell me its name. I don't want to know.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no,
I don't
no,
mess with
just
that.
rebuke it.
Yeah. Stuff like that, I'm not gonna mess with. And then, like back with like the death and stuff, one of my friend's dad had passed away, and she was talking and she's like, I seen my dad again. And I tried to tell her, oh no, that's not your dad that you're seeing.
Hmm.
And she was saying, yeah, it is. And he wants me to do this or that. And I'm telling her, if you do this, there's no telling what's going to happen. But she did it. And then after that, she went completely what, back then they would call gothic people. I mean, she just went straight dark.
Right, right.
I mean,
Now, I do believe that your family members will come to you in a dream. I mean, that way.
mm-hmm.
I've had that happen with my mom and my dad. They didn't say anything to me, and it was a quick dream, but I did, it. But
Yeah.
as far as physically seeing them,
No.
nope, nope, that's not them.
Yeah.
No.
My mom's had that experience. She's been able to see her mom and dad in her dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a similar experience like that.
Yeah, that I do believe.
She she said it was like a quick little dream where they were just holding hands, just letting her know that they were safe and together.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you about my dad. My dad lost his leg when he was 5 years old, lost it at the hip, so he walked on crutches his whole life. And he died when he was 88. I guess it was about a month after he died. I had sat in my chair, my recliner, and just leaned back, and it was just that quick. I was at my parents' house, and we were in the living room, and there was chairs in a circle, and I looked over, and there was my dad. He was about 30 years old. Now, when they had me, he was 40, so I'd never seen him look that young.
Right.
And I thought, wow. And he got up and acted like he was going to fall because he had crutches. He couldn't, he didn't walk like a normal person. And then he stood straight up and started laughing because he had his other leg.
Oh, wow.
He had his other leg. And that
That is
was the end of my
awesome.
dream. So he
Wow.
showed me that he had his other leg. Didn't
That's
say a
incredible.
word. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
eyes are burning.
Yeah, they gave me
My mom
goosebumps.
and dad was in heaven.
Yeah, it did me too.
Yeah,
So,
was sick when they died.
Mom said her mom and dad were in heaven in like two big old white clouds because they were, both sick whenever they passed away. But it was like they were well, and together
hmm
and happy. That's awesome.
isn't that neat?
Yeah, it is. I kind of had
Yeah.
something similar happen like that. It's hard to talk about, but I had a miscarriage back in 2012,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and yeah, he was a stillborn. It was a little boy, and I
Oh,
always wanted to know like what color his eyes would have been, because both my boys now have blue eyes. Well, one night I was asleep and I dreamed of him and I was able to see his eyes. He had like the prettiest light blue eyes, you know. And I
yeah.
was so happy because somehow, I was able to see it.
Uh huh. Yeah.
So that helped.
Now, see, to me, those are God winks. I call them God winks.
Yep.
That's God giving you what you needed.
Yeah, it's comfort.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I felt better after that, because I always wondered, I wanted to know that so bad. And
Yeah. He's waiting for you in heaven. You're going
oh
to
yeah,
see him again. You
I'm ready.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, recently.
I had all boys. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
They're
awesome.
awesome.
They are. They're cute as can be.
They're ornery
They're
as
ornery.
ever. I have
Oh, they're
like
cute.
a laid back, chill type child, and then I have a very outgoing, rambunctious child.
Watch it. They may flip later.
Oh man. Thank
Yeah.
you, kind words, everybody. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's neat how stuff like that happens. Thank you, dog man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It is neat. Yeah. And I was real close to my mom's mom because, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, my mom died when I was 7. So I spent a lot of time in Oklahoma
Mm-hmm.
with her parents, and I was really close to them. I mean, I went every spring break, every summer, um, to be with them. And she died. My grandpa died in the 70s, and then my grandma died about 87, about 87. And the one dream I had about her is I walked into this house and there was a bunch of people there. And I looked across the room and there was my grandma sitting on the couch.
Oh wow.
And I just started bawling and said, oh, grandma. And I walked over to her and she hugged me and that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it. I got a hug from her.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you wish those dreams could last just a little bit longer.
but you know what? It's those dreams that stick with you
Yep.
forever.
Yep.
It's just like your baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna stick with you forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to explain like how something like that can make you feel other than it was just great and it's what you needed.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. I like that kind of stuff. I like those happy stories like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it's
a
awesome.
lot of people don't have that.
No, they don't. They
I
don't.
think God sends those dreams because you're in a dark place after that situation happens.
Yeah.
So He just wants to give you the light and know that they're okay and that He has them up there with Him. They're not sick no more and they're happy.
They're in their perfect bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I got one more story about my mom and dad. Okay, the day before my dad died, I was really close to my dad.
Mhm.
Um, and they told us that he would, would probably be passing that night or the next morning. Well, I was at work, driving, bawling, and I was just boo-hooing. And
Oh.
I pulled up behind a horse trailer, and I'm just sitting there, and I look up at the top of that horse trailer. Now, I told you the story about where we had our houseboat at Lake Conscious,
Right.
and that, and when my mom died, the day my mom died, my dad sold that houseboat because he wasn't going back there without my mom to fish. So the day before my dad died, I'm just, I'm thinking, Mom, come get dad. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. And I look up, and at the very top of that horse trailer, there was a bumper sticker. And I have never seen that bumper sticker in my life. And it said, "Come on, y'all. Let's go fishing at Lake Conscious at the North Dock." And
Oh, wow.
that's where we housed our houseboat, was at the North Dock.
Wow.
Wow.
That is awesome.
So to me, that was kind of God's wink that, yeah,
Mhm.
he was going to be with my mom.
Yep.
And I haven't
That's
seen a bumper sticker like that since or before that. And I saw it the day before my dad died.
wow.
Wow.
Not a coincidence.
No,
No.
not at all. No, that's another sign.
Yeah. That's just
Yeah,
God know that he's gonna be up there with your mom.
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
I think those
So,
are so cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I start warming.
I know. Yeah, those stories like that, I could listen to those
Yeah.
all the time. I love happy stories.
Did you do the video yet?
Especially with God in there.
Sorry, what?
You did
Yeah.
the video.
Yeah. Let's see. So, what about your trip that's coming up? Do you want to share some of that about the history of that place?
Yes. Tomorrow night, my daughter and her husband and my son, we're gonna go to Fort Stanton in Lincoln County, New Mexico. That's where I live, in Lincoln County. And it's a haunted fort. Uh, Ghost Hunters has been there season 2, episode 3, I think. They went and investigated it, or vice versa, season 3, episode 2. I can't remember which one. But yeah, they have a lot of paranormal activity there. So, but it's a tour thing that we're taking. Um, it used to be the fort. Um, then they had it as a prisoner of war, I believe,
Uh-huh.
during World War II. They housed some Japanese there. It's been a hospital, mental hospital. It's been drug rehab, alcohol rehab place at one time. Now I think it's just a museum. And I had seen, when I first moved over here, a video that they had the curator, the director, and then 2 maintenance people that work there, 2 maintenance men. Well, they started getting really freaked out, the maintenance men, on stuff that was happening, and so they called in somebody else to come and check it out too. But should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds like an interesting place to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes me want to go find that episode and watch
Right?
it.
I think you can just Google Fort Stanton, in New Mexico, and
Mhm.
it'll bring up the ghost hunters, what season and what episode. I think it's two or three,
Yeah,
episode
I'll have to
2 or
look it up.
3.
yeah, I want to go look
So
at.
yeah, and they caught some shadows looking out of doors, and yeah, they caught some stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a couple places around here that I'd like to go check out. One of them I won't say publicly, but ones that we've talked to you about that we would like to go check out. The one with a lot of buildings, the really old place that used to be an asylum. I'd like to go there. I'd like
Oh
to check
yeah.
that. And then of course the motel.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Right.
I would like to go check that out. Um, and also I would like to go back to that bridge that we seen. When we went to the Labadee house, or we was trying to go to the Labadee house.
Right.
That bridge, I would love to go back
That
to
was
that
a nice bridge.
It was.
I love that bridge.
I have to see if I still have some pictures of it, but
And I usually hate bridges, but
that,
that was
was
pretty.
an old
yeah.
bridge. But
Right.
that's a couple of the places that I would like to go and check out. Really
Oh
interested.
yeah.
Really interested in the first one. I would just want to go see that.
Yeah.
What,
I think it would be so cool.
what is the hotel?
Uh-oh. Get it?
You start wrapping it up.
Whoops. Wrong button. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
To go visit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm real excited about going to this place. There's a bunch of buildings on it, so
I'm gonna have to go research it and find that episode.
Yeah.
Me and Kaylee's gonna have a date night. We're gonna go watch it.
Girls' night.
well, I sent a couple of clips in the chat so y'all can watch it. One was from Ghost Hunters, and I think the other was from the Albuquerque News on
Oh
it.
wow!
Yeah,
Yeah.
so check it out. Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
go check it
We'll
out.
definitely check that out.
I've kept you an hour and a half. I'm sure you're wanting to get off here, so I'll see if anybody in the chat has any questions. If you do, make sure to please put them in capital letters. That way we don't miss one. And we'll try to get to all of them that you guys might have. If anybody's got any juicy questions for us about all these topics that we went over, this has been a good conversation, I
Yeah.
think.
Not now.
5 months ago, I thought all this was fake,
But not.
but not now.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
not fake.
Yeah.
Well, I've had fun hanging out with you gals.
Yeah. It's been fun.
It's been really fun.
This has been an interesting topic. I'm excited to hopefully get Wednesdays sorted out. So hopefully we can get something going on there.
Right.
Different topics, I
Yeah.
think will be interesting. Have like a cryptid and then a paranormal topic.
Right.
I think it's going to be
But this
fun.
one was kind of different because we had like happy stories in the middle. Of
I
it.
know. It was great. I loved it.
A nice change.
Yeah,
He was like, it wasn't all scary.
that's right.
I'm not seeing nobody throwing up any questions. This is the last chance for any questions that anybody might have. Make sure to put them in capital letters. Dave B, thank you. I
Dave.
appreciate that.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the
Yes,
show. It
thank
was a
you.
good one. I loved it. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was fun. I love talking with Brooks.
I had a great time.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Silver bullet. I won't be able to sleep now.
Oh, goodness.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Romans.
How
Thanks,
to sort
Herbert.
out Wednesdays. What is that? Missed something. How to sort out all the Wednesdays.
Got a question. Is
Um,
hunting these things Christian like?
is hunting these things Christian like? I don't think it goes against our Christianity because we aren't out there like doing blasphemy things. We're out there to research it and to learn about it.
And we're not out there with like Ouija boards
Yeah,
and
we're not out there to provoke it.
yeah,
I'm not talking to you.
we don't talk to it.
We don't gift it. We don't do anything like that. It's just for research and study. And it's just, it's something that we enjoy doing and we have for a while.
Same as preachers that study demonology.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you just said. It's just kind of like protecting yourself from things unknown. We go out and, put it on video the way you guys can see it. So hopefully, sometimes it can help you. It's no different than like a preacher studying demonology to, do
I
extra
agree.
things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to know what these things are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
really.
We all want the answers.
Yeah.
As long as you're not going out there, trying to provoke it or
Talk to it.
calling it up, inviting it in, trying to talk to it, gift it, things like that. I believe that you're fine. But now if you go out there and start calling it up, doing black magic and stuff, yeah, you're asking.
And say, show yourself.
Yeah, you're asking
Yeah.
for a whole
Another ball game. We don't want
Yeah.
that.
I don't want
Agree.
no part of that ball game.
Yeah. No.
No.
And every time we go out there, I mean, we pray and we know that we have God by us and we're covered in Jesus' blood and we wear the full armor of God, so we know that we're protected.
Yeah, the dog. I agree right here with the dog man. Don't ever gift it. Heck
Yeah.
no.
Don't
No.
gift it.
But I mean, y'all are out there getting proof that these things are real, that they're out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
Cryptid and
that's
strange encounters.
yeah.
You are exposing the evil ones. Yeah.
Thank
There's a
you,
lot of that.
Susan.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, there's a lot of that out there. There's a lot of real. There's a lot of it is scary. A lot of it can be harmful. You just got to be careful.
That's right. That's right. Always keep your armor up. Always.
Yeah, keep your head on the swivel.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah, I mean, even for people that don't even go out and do this, research or want to be a part of it or anything, always keep your armor up.
Yeah.
I mean, because you never know.
And be proud to wear it too.
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. We've had a great live. We both enjoyed talking to Brooks. It's been fun. We want to
Thanks
thank
for
each and every
having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully we can do this again.
Okay.
But we want to thank each and every one of you guys in the chat for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you. As always, much love. And as Mike always says, keep your head on a swivel and don't be something's dinner. We'll see you guys next time. God
Bye,
bless.
guys.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.